Let me tell you about the morning I became public enemy #1 in my own neighborhood, or hero, depending on who you ask. Picture this. It's 5:47 a.m. The sky's still got that weird bruised purple right before sunrise. The whole suburb is dead quiet until suddenly, boom, this diesel engine, loud enough to wake the dead, starts rattling the windows. You ever have one of those moments where you're not sure if you're dreaming or living a nightmare? That was me. I jump out of bed, heart pounding, no clue what's going on, and the next thing I know, I'm standing in my driveway, bare feet, just boxers, freezing my ass off on the gravel. Real dignified, right? And then my stomach just drops. I see it. My boat. My 29-foot Boston Whaler, the one I spent every dime I had to buy, getting towed away like it's some junked-out sedan. It's halfway down the street before I can even move, disappearing with all the overtime, all the missed weekends, every last thing I gave up for it. Gone just like that. I'm just standing there, shivering in the fog, feeling smaller than I ever thought possible. And who do I see standing at the end of the driveway? Patricia Sterling. She looks like she just walked off the cover of How to Be Rich and Terrifying. Arms crossed, yoga pants that probably cost more than my first truck, watching me like I'm a bug she's finally gotten rid of. She hits me with this line: "Your vessel exceeds the aesthetic dimensions of the neighborhood, Caleb." Like she's reading a script. She smiles, but it's the kind of smile you'd see on a shark. We're just enforcing the community standards. Let me tell you, I wasn't shaking from the cold. I was shaking from a rage so pure I thought I might actually explode. But then, just as my boat disappears around the corner, I remember something. A secret buried deep in the paperwork that not even Patricia and her little army know about. You see, that perfect lake everyone loves so much, Lake Serenity, the one all their fancy boats play on, I own it. Every drop, every inch. And Patricia, she's about to find out what happens when you try to screw over the wrong guy. But before I get to the part where everything explodes, figuratively, not literally, don't call the cops yet, you probably want to know how a guy like me ended up here. I'm Caleb Thorne. I'm 52, been a mechanic since I could hold a wrench. Lived above my shop most of my life. My hands look like maps of all the engines I've ever fixed. It was never glamorous, until my uncle Silas changed everything. Silas was a legend. Lived out on this lake. Wouldn't sell for anything, even when people came with suitcases full of cash. He died, and, long story short, I get a call from his lawyer. Turns out he left me everything. So, my wife Elena and I, we roll up to Oak Haven Reserve. 3 acres, a dock, a house that actually feels like a home. I step outside that first morning, breathe in air that smells like pine instead of gasoline, and I swear I thought I was in the wrong movie. But Oak Haven Reserve, it's not exactly everyman territory. We're talking million-dollar homes, people who drive cars that have never seen a mud puddle, and, no offense if this is you, the kind of folks who think weekend project means hiring a designer. There I am, tattoos, work boots, trying to blend in with the khaki brigade. Then I met Patricia. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be on the receiving end of a full-on HOA dictator, let me tell you, it's exhausting. She runs that place with an iron fist, bending every rule to her advantage. Married to Grant, who just so happens to own the biggest boat dealership around. And they've got the biggest, flashiest yacht on the lake, a 35-footer, parked right where everyone can see it. The trouble started my second week, backing my pride and joy, the horizon, into my driveway. I hear those high heels clicking, and suddenly Patricia's there, looking at my boat like it's a dumpster fire. She gives me that welcome to the neighborhood bit, but you know the type, it's more like welcome, but don't get too comfortable. Then she points out a rule, section 7.3 or something, about oversized recreational equipment. She's got the clause memorized, but somehow her husband's giant yacht doesn't count. Convenient, right? Turns out that rule was pushed through by Patricia herself during the holidays when half the neighborhood was off in Aspen. Suddenly, anything over 25 feet was banned. My boat, 29 feet. Her husband's, 35. But according to her, the community dock follows different maritime regulations. I kid you not. She said their boat was providing essential security services for the lake. Like what? Fighting off pirates with martinis. From there, things went downhill fast. A few days later, there's an envelope taped to my door, a bill for over $1,000 to get my boat back, plus daily storage fees. And guess where my boat's being held? Yep, her husband's lot. But that's just the warm-up. Next thing I know, I'm getting legal threats, fines for the color of my trailer, my tarp, even the lettering on my boat. I'm racking up thousands in penalties while her yacht floats free as a bird. Here's the kicker. Other neighbors had boats over the limit too. Dr. Thorne, no relation, had a 27-footer. Tom Miller had a 30-footer. All ignored because they played along. I started keeping records, photos, measuring everything, making a spreadsheet that would make the IRS jealous. When I filed a complaint about Patricia's yacht, she slapped me with a harassment of board members violation. I started to feel like maybe this place wasn't paradise after all. And it wasn't just me. One night, my neighbor Mrs. Gable shows up. Looks like she's seen a ghost. She got me too, Caleb, she whispers. 15 years here, and now her patio furniture is non-conforming. It hit me. This wasn't about rules. It was about control. Anyone who didn't fit Patricia's perfect picture got crushed. Then came the big one. I noticed that they put a lien on my house for $4,000 in unpaid fines. And just to twist the knife, she revoked my guest parking, which meant the folks who paid me to fix their engines couldn't even park near my place anymore. She wanted me out, plain and simple. So I lawyered up, met with Samantha Cross, who's basically a superhero in business casual. She took one look at my stack of paperwork and grinned. "This amendment is legally void," she said. "No proper notice, no quorum. Patricia's empire is built on sand." For the first time, I actually breathed. But Patricia didn't care about playing fair. After that, things got ugly. My trailer tires got slashed, brand new. Security cameras just happened to glitch that night. Then came the wave of anonymous complaints, environmental, fire code, you name it. Every inspection I passed. But the message was clear. Step out of line, and we'll ruin you. You know what, though? That's when the tide turned. People started showing up at my place. Dr. Thorne, Mrs. Gable, Tom, even Widow Jenkins, sharing their stories over beers in my workshop. We weren't just neighbors anymore. We were resistance. Then Samantha calls. "Get to the courthouse." Now, she found something in my uncle's records, something about water rights, older than the whole development. I go down there, nerves shot, and she lays out these documents, yellowed, falling apart. Turns out Uncle Silas didn't just buy the land. He bought the water. All of Lake Serenity, 47 acres, belonged to him, and now to me. But wait, there's more. There's a trust, a conservation trust. Uncle Silas set it up to protect the shoreline, and the PO, the group Patricia's been running like her own mafia. They only have a revocable recreational license. Revocable, as in, I could revoke it. The trust even collected yearly fees from the community, piling up to over $500,000. And Sterling Marine? Been using the lake for their business, never paid a cent. For a split second, I fantasized about draining the lake out of pure spite. But Samantha, cool as ice, tells me, let her dig her own grave. Be patient. So we wait. And boy, did Patricia fall right in. She doubles down. More fines, more legal threats, bans mechanical work at home, targeting my side business, calls the cops on me, spreads rumors I'm dangerous. But she goes too far. One morning, I walk into my shop. Tools destroyed. Engine blocks dumped over. Oil everywhere. Leave or else. Spray painted on the wall. That one hurt. That was my safe space. But, see, after the earlier sabotage, I'd put in hidden cameras. Watch the footage, hands shaking. It's Grant's truck from Sterling Marine, Grant himself, and a couple goons. And in the passenger seat, giving orders, is Patricia. I hand that footage to Officer Reynolds, who's been keeping an eye on things. He nearly chokes. This is grand vandalism. She's finished. But Patricia, being Patricia, files a restraining order against me, calls the news, paints me as some psycho threatening the neighborhood. She's scrambling. We go to court. She lies under oath, says I threatened her, says she was home during the break-in. Samantha, calm as ever, plays security camera footage proving I was nowhere near her. then rolls the tape of Patricia sitting in the truck orchestrating my shop's destruction. The whole courtroom goes dead silent. The judge, who thankfully isn't related to the Sterlings, is not amused. He tosses her restraining order, refers the case to the DA, and Patricia is suddenly facing prison time. But there's still the emergency POA meeting that night. Patricia, still thinking she can muscle through, is trying to push me and a bunch of others out for good. The clubhouse is packed. Tension so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Patricia looks like she's about to crack. Grant is nowhere to be seen, probably burning paperwork. Cameras rolling. Officer Reynolds standing guard. And, surprise, 2 federal agents at the back. Patricia bangs her gavel, try to regain control. I stand up. Sit down, Patricia. And Samantha drops the bombshell. This board has no authority over the lake. Mr. Thorne owns it as trustee of the Serenity Conservation Trust. She shows the deeds, the trust papers, everything. The place erupts. Patricia screams fraud. Samantha calmly shuts her down. It's legal, it's recorded, it's binding. And because of your campaign of harassment and criminal activity, your recreational license is revoked. I look Patricia dead in the eyes. Sterling Marine is banned from the lake, effective immediately. You owe $89,000 in back fees. And the current board? Dissolved for gross violation of trust. Checkmate. She tried to steal my boat. I took her whole empire. And right on cue, the FBI agent steps forward and arrests her. Handcuffs live on the evening news. Sweetest sound I ever heard. The room goes quiet for a second, then erupts in applause. Not because people wanted revenge, but because they finally felt safe. Justice, real justice, landed right in Patricia's lap. After that, things actually got better. Patricia went to prison, had to pay back a mountain of money. Grant's business went under. I used a trust fund to clean up the lake, fix the shoreline, build a new pier where everyone, every kid, every neighbor, could actually enjoy it. We shut down the old POA and started a rotating council where everyone gets a vote. 6 months later, we're out on the new dock, kids playing, old folks laughing, and Elena by my side. A little girl, Emma, tugs my sleeve. Mr. Caleb, did you fight a monster? I smile at her. Something like that, kiddo. Sometimes you gotta remind a bully that sharing beats stealing. I look out at the water, and I swear, I feel Uncle Silas there. He didn't just give me a lake. He gave me a shot at building something better. Turns out, owning something is easy. Taking care of it, making it better for everyone, that's what matters. But here's the real question, the one I still chew on sometimes. If you had the power to lock everyone out, people who try to ruin your life, would you? Or would you open the gates and share it anyway? I made my choice. What would you do? I want to hear your take. Drop your story or your thoughts below. Because sometimes justice isn't about getting even. It's about flipping the script so nobody gets hurt again.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã xem video.